Yeah, the whole theory of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And the way that's played itself out. What's been interesting is like that paired with like actual neuroscience that even supports like what is going on in the brain when we speak positive things over. I know some people use the word manifest, but I think it is, we behave ourselves into whatever we expect. So I love that, the idea of, let's not say we can't,
Yeah.
right?
And it was about taking small intentional steps as well. And, we stop and celebrate those things. So those things kind of help build momentum, if you will, and set new markers along the way that were manageable goals. That people say, how do you eat an elephant? Like one bite at a time. So you've got all these challenges. How do you achieve them? You do them by taking small intentional steps, celebrating along the way, setting extending it. So then the goal becomes manageable. That you're not pushing against yourself because you're overwhelmed, but you're taking those small steps. And again, to me, also being an individual who I'm not afraid to let you know that I'm vulnerable in situations. I'm not always right. I don't know everything. And, I'm not that leader that's going to sit and say, oh, no, this is the way we do it. I'm the leader we're going to build consistency by building the team. I want to know what you think. And then as a team, we establish what that's going to be. And that process of, our plan of action throughout.
Yeah, 100%. I think when a staff feels heard, but I even like you mentioned the whole student advisory approach. When students feel heard, in that they don't necessarily have to agree with everything they said, but just truthfully valuing their input is such a powerful tool as well. One of the things that we do in our internal team is we have like a little kind of like a Slack channel that's called Winning the Day, and it's always trying to capture a win. Right. When a student has a success, and then we have like stories of impact on a monthly basis that we share that are a little bit longer. But it is trying to like connect. Hey, it's not only is this our goal, but here are some like real tangible examples of just unusual success. Are there any of those that come to mind when you think back on your time at John Rolfe? Was there a story of either a student or a teacher that really came around, really had a win?
I'm going to say one. I'm going to tell you one about a staff member who really, truly, one of the things the outgoing principal left in her note was that I needed to get rid of this individual. Person couldn't make it work on time, was always late, and all these other issues that she saw as a challenge. And I saw it as a challenge, but a challenge to get to help to understand what was going on. Really. Why is this person late every day? And in being able to have that conversation with the individual, she had been taking care of one of her family members. I can't recall if it was an aunt or whomever, but she was taking care of it. And so in the mornings were really challenging for her to get herself together, making sure the person had all their medication, et cetera. And so consequently, knowing that that was a challenge and that monies weren't there, we really together, along with our counselor at the school and some other district staff, helped to find some community partners to help her with this situation. And when I tell you, that made the world a difference for that individual and able to get to work on time. And there was not a year that we were together, because she also came with me to Rolfe.
I bet she did.
She never had less than 90% of her students pass the state test. Never. And so had I listened to my predecessor about this individual, my students would have lost out on an amazing teacher, because I was able to sit and have that conversation with her, but together we were able to help resolve her challenges to get to work on time. I can deal with some of those things as long as you're in that wall between the time frame we're in school and you're doing what's right for kids. You know what? We can work on everything else.
I love it.
By helping her, she became my teacher of the year. So again, had I listened and not try to help understand what the issue were with that individual. And again, it's something that I've carried with me throughout my tenure as an educator, that everywhere I've been, if there's a challenging employee, of course, there are some things that just egregious enough for you not to have, that you don't understand those things. However, it has been my call and my challenge everywhere I've been. And by empowering them to do their best while they're in the building, to me, again, who ultimately benefits from that? I don't get any accolades for that. That's for the staff. That's for the student. And ultimately, our kids, they actually benefit from that scenario, those scenarios, more so than I do myself.